Sounds good. Alright, Bant Climb. We've played a few iterations of Climb in the past. I played a ton of Teamer Climb on stream. One thing that I have not tried in Climb specifically is going up as big as Carnage Tyrant, which is kinda sweet. Big, dumb, flying Barney kinda sounds hot. I like the mix of things this deck is doing. We've got both Baffling End and Ixalan's Binding. This is basically a Selesnya green-white deck with a small blue splash for both Climb and Krasis. Seems very reasonable overall on the surface, just a collection of, like, mostly good cards, so let's dive on into some matches. You gotta put the Rakdos sleeves on for the mind games. Scum. Scum. How many removal spells did you play in Simic Climb? In the main deck, I had 4 Incubation Incongruity as the only ones. Easy mulligan, even if it does have 7 beautiful cards in it. This hand, like, needs blue mana, but it's, like, okay overall. Oh, we do have 2 ugly cards in this hand, so while it's keepable, it is a downgrade in some ways from the 7. I'm gonna bottom that in the dark. Looking for a blue source and like some Jadelight Ranger. Like Jadelight Ranger is one of the best possible draws with a hand like this. Because Jadelight Ranger's like action that also helps dig us to blue lands. What do you think about the bow in Climb? I think if Esper Control remains the control deck to beat, bow's gonna be just really good in general in these green creature decks. Just because it's an artifact that doesn't, like, card advantage that doesn't die to Mortify or Vraska's Contempt's a big deal. That is a sweet draw. Because this puts a counter on here, which means I can Carnage Tyrant next turn, which is awesome, because this now makes 3 mana. Turn 4 Carnage here is sweet. Iceman, something, anecdotal evidence. Thanks for the 8 months. Welcome back. I know a timeout request when I see one. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year.
Balance comes.
You are capable of more than you assume.
Ajani and Climb with these adapt creatures is really sweet. Maybe I'm supposed to pump... I'm probably supposed to pump the Incubation Druid there. I adapted this before Ajaniing it because I wanted to get this out of range of finality here. I want to just insulate my board against the sweeper as much as possible. Yeah. The nice thing about putting a counter on the Carnage Tyrant here is it means this is big enough to block one of their 4-power guys and still not die to finality. They're at 31, unfortunately, so, like, even though I have this giant Carnage Tyrant, I'm, like, not killing them anytime soon. That's pretty good. That's like, not bad, .jpg. I think I'm doing this plus adapt this. And then Ajani's gonna go here to get these out of finality range. And then this is gonna take out Wild Growth Walker. And then I'm gonna play another one of these. And then this is gonna kill her. So like, even if they put 4 toughness in front of here, she still dies. So it feels like we've solidly crushed this game. This has been a really impressive first draw. I think I just do this. I want to... If they have a single piece of point removal, they get to kill this and tap Ajani anyway. So I think I want to just, like, run them down inside of combat here. There's no disdainful strokes in the 75. Which is generally pretty good here. Knight of Autumn seems like a fine cut. Do I want Deputy of Detention? It's pretty good against their Hydroid Krasis, right? And it resets their Wild Growth Walkers. Maybe I don't want all the Ixalan's Binding, although this is also good against Krasis. I need 4 cuts here. Maybe this many Carnage Tyrants is a mistake. I need to cut 3 things. I could see, like, cut 2 bindings and a Tyrant. This seems okay. It's a little expensive. 2, 2, 2. I think I like that. Yeah, Jadelight's just a good card. And remember, this deck list is a viewer-submitted deck list, so I don't really have strong opinions on it overall, but Jadelight's not a card that you have to run with Wild Growth Walker by any means. Not only does it occasionally get you land, but when it doesn't get you land, it also synergizes with Hadana's Climb to help Climb flip over faster. I think it's fine. Like, it's not the absurd draw we had last game by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just like, this is a playable collection of Magic cards for us. This hand does have a lot of ugly in it. You're not wrong. I think it's right to take their Llanowar Elves here with them leaving Krasis on top of their deck. This doesn't come in foil, neither do basics, which is sad. Hey, they don't have a land. That's really good for us. The fact that we drew 2 Growth Chamber Guardians here kind of sucks. It might be right to make this into a 2/4, honestly. With them missing land drops and me having Hadana's Climb threatening to flip, I think I want to offer this trade here and pressure them. You know, they could have Find Finality here, which means putting creatures in their bin is like not unreasonable for them. I wonder if they have Hostage Taker or Contempt here. Hostage Taker would be pretty bad for us. That's always... Hostage Taker's like always the card that's like a massive beating for... That's a massive beating for Bant in this matchup. You just like don't have good answers to it. Alright, so I'm going to play this. I'm going to adapt it so it turns into a 4/4. And then Hadana's Climb is going to target it, which lets it flip over. And then that gives me my 6 land for Carnage Tyrant next turn. And Tyrant plus Wing Temple closes real fast. Wow, Gendy, that card sounds sweet. I had someone put Party Bus back in the queue today, so it'll be a good one to play with. What? What? Thanks, I guess. Thanks.
The wilds are my shield.
So I'm just on the ignore Vivien plan, right? It's just like charge. Love tap, baby love tap, baby love tap, baby love tap, love tap, baby. Barney's love tap, that's where it's at. Do 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 do, beep beep beep, beep dee 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 dee. So I don't need to Baffling End this to win the game, but I'm going to do so to assert dominance. Yeah, that felt... Huh. You know, the Sultai matchup always felt hard for Teamer. I wonder if Carnage Tyrant was secretly the answer. That card's really good there. Like, not even, like, obviously flying doubled up Carnage Tyrant is, like, absurd, but, like, even just base stack Carnage Tyrant is, like, good in that matchup. Wow, this hand is nuts. Holy gosh. Do 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 do. Poor little Vivien. See, we should have won the die roll, chat. That was our mistake, was losing the die roll. Then we could have got her down before they thought erased us on 3. The Squire of Hoaglandia checking in for the 11th month. I have a feeling your username's going to be changing soon. Thank you for the continued support. Welcome back. What? What? They must have Vraska's Contempt, right? They must have Vraska's Contempt. Just a box. Thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. My people need me. But like they played all tapped lands, right? Oh, they have Bedevil? Do they have Bedevil? Maybe they didn't realize this was coming down next turn. Nope. Just must not have realized this was coming down next turn. Maybe they misclicked. Yeah, they probably just forgot one of these dudes gave mana. Maybe they have a theater. That could be a good read. Yeah, I'm trying to think like what they have like a map or something maybe.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
They took my Ixalan's Binding too. All right, so I'm gonna play Hadana's Climb. I'm gonna target this Incubation Druid. I'm gonna leave combat. I'm gonna play Growth Chamber Guardian. I'm gonna fart Growth Chamber Guardian. Go get a friend. And then like, Grixis just like can't beat Carnage Tyrant to save their life, and we have 4 of those post board, so should be in a good spot. This deck is gas. This deck like is the type of deck I like playing, and it feels powerful. It's just like everything I want in life. Wonder how it is against red aggro. I guess we have 4 Knight of Autumn. It's probably okay there, huh?
I've seen squirrels hit harder. Meet my newest friend.
Oh, I didn't even need to shock that in. Whatever. How you doing? How you doing? Think new Viv goes in this deck? Nah, probably not. I feel like new Viv wants to be in like Frilled Mystic decks. If you're having a good day, I am having an amazing day, Admiral. Thank you for the 1.5 years. Welcome back. Do we have Dubs Climb Lethal? I think we do have Double Climb Lethal next turn. Yeah, we totally do. Right, because this is, I need 9 mana, so this is exactly, I have 1 over. Casual 30 you. Do, 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 do. Boom. Do, 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 do. Boom. Do, 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 do. Boom. Do, 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 do. Do. Ixalan's Binding is great against Grixis. They can't take that card off the table. I know they, like, discarded it aggressively, but I think I'm supposed to cut Knight of Autumn here. I think I'm supposed to cut Knight of Autumn here. It doesn't seem particularly great. How do we feel about trimming, like, Incubation Druid here? I guess Baffling End doesn't seem great. They could be a Thief of Sanity deck. Yeah, we don't really know what they do. I've got 4 bindings, Kraul Harpooner, and Vivien, as well as blockers. Yeah, I'm going to leave all the mana creatures in, especially with boarding up to Carnage Tyrant. We're worried about Disinformation Campaign. I don't think so. I have Binding and Vivien if I am. Need a good way to deal with Bolas. I mean, Baffling End doesn't deal with Bolas. I have 4 Binding, 2 Vivien, and 2 Harpooner for Bolas. They discarded Nicol Bolas for sure, but Baffling End doesn't help there. I think I'm going to keep this against a deck full of discard. Like, obviously it needs to draw a 3rd land, but we're on the draw, so hopefully we're capable of doing that. Growth Chamber Guardian declines like a pretty good curve. Yep. Yeah, they could be on Treasure Map too. I agree that a correct conclusion is probably assume they have artifacts or enchantments with the way they took Knight last game. The Dragon Horde? Yeah, I could see that. I assume we're losing Vivien here. If Growth Chamber Guardian doesn't die, we really want to draw a blue source. Really? Drawing a second Growth Chamber always feels bad. Blue source would have been absurd there again. It would have let us play this, flip it, and then play a Growth Chamber Guardian still. So my opponent's going to get to hit me with this Thief of Sanity next turn, but I've got a lot of power in play. So like, I don't feel like we're in a terrible spot, depending on what their hand looks like. They're missing black, notably. And we don't have efficient removal in our deck. So like, what's their best hit here? Probably like a Jadelight Ranger, because they're stumbling as well. Maybe I'm supposed to wait on attacking with the 3/3. I don't know. I think this trade's kind of good for me. Oh! Trading there means my Ajani can Harpooner their Thief next turn. That's great. Oh, you know, there's an Incubation Druid down here from earlier, too, that I forgot about. Might want to fetch that back up. Unlock these. A small foil flight. That's actually lethal, right? Because they're at 3. So I do this, and then this targets Llanowar Elf, and I've got 2 3/3s attacking. Johnny's been really impressive so far. In a variety of ways. Do 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 do. This deck has a very cohesive strategy and a good, solid, proactive game plan for sure. Can I compare this with Temur? This felt much better against Sultai than Temur has felt, but I also only played 1 match. I've only played 2 matches total, so I don't know that I can really draw a strong conclusion one way or another. Yeah, it's possible some strokes could belong in the board. Although so far we've just been plowing through the Hostage Taker deck, so maybe we don't need it. You think it'll be this deck or Esper Duplicate as a deck of the day? I don't know. If this one keeps up, I might just tag them both. Sometimes I pick 2 favorites in a day if we have 2 quite astonishing ones. Seems great. Except for you, Hinterland Harbor. Nobody thinks you're great and you should feel bad about yourself. Get in the ugly corner. Night of Autumn. Alright, so I'm going to play Glacial Fortress on 2 here, so this way if I draw an Ajani next turn, I can play it out. Alright, I mean, having a 4-3 in play is not bad. Vivien 2 turns down the line. I'm going to crack them for 5 and play another Jadelight next turn, and then the turn after we play Vivien. So, like, we've got a good solid clock here, and Vivien's going to provide a little bit of disruption. Did I listen to Garth Brooks growing up? Of course. My parents listened to, like, nothing but country music. I don't know if the sleeves really give away information. Like, I feel like there's equal parts of people like me who have their sleeve match their deck to people who, like, put Rakdos sleeves on their Bant deck. Leave my beer, trucks, and women alone. Alright, they tanked long and hard on that sabotage there, which makes me think maybe they don't have another one. Do I want to jam Vivien here? What are the odds they have another counterspell here? High? Do we think it's a high chance they have another counterspell? I'm just gonna put pressure into play. I'm gonna double spell this turn. I have no idea hers. Because this, especially with hitting this as a 4-3, I actually have lethal next turn now, right? Oh, stop manually tapping. Stop it. You're killing me! Killing me! Why do you hate yourself and others, opponent? Why do you hate yourself and others? Well, I already know they hate themselves and others because they're playing Nexus of Fate, but they're manually tapping with Nexus of Fate, which makes them a monster among monsters. You were too happy, so Watsy had to bring you back down. Yep. Alright. Death to that one specifically.
Get that out of here.
Yeah, what is TTV? That is not an acronym I'm familiar with. Oh, they're a streamer. Twitch TV. How did I not know that? I feel like I should know that.
The wilds are my shield.
Infinite Knights of Autumn. I'd expect them to have a low viewer count. Who wants to watch people manually tap? Ain't nobody got time for that. No joke. Every time I turn on a stream and someone's manually tapping, if they don't have a gameplay reason to be manually tapping, they're just paranoid, I turn their stream off because they don't value my time. They ain't got any respect for my time or yours. Don't watch people that manually tap. I think this is fine to sideboard like this. Hydroid Krasis is a card that I don't really want. No, don't raid or harass the other streamer. Don't do that. That's rude. I'm just saying that people who are terrified of change are incredibly annoying. Are literally just sapping away our time because they're terrified of learning how the technology works. Why not Knight or Viv the previous turn could ensure lethal through snare? How does putting another creature into play put lethal through a root snare? Root snare prevents all combat damage. Putting more creatures into play doesn't change that. People who manually tap are people who count their change one at a time. Yeah, when you find like the mono blue players that manually tap, you're just like, ah, what are you doing? What are you doing? Marty, I don't know what song your tune is to. What tune your song is to. Friends in low places. All right, I got you. No, they're not going to counter the spell we're casting when they're dead on board, Turkey Sloth. This is probably fine. That never didn't have it. This made us pretty likely to find our white source, but hitting it right away feels good. Fittingly, I think 16 months is a pink Tic Tac anniversary. What's going on, DJ Jedi Jeff? Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Got a good solid curve here. I'm gonna have some disruption to follow it up, which feels good. 2 days and I'm almost to diamond. Teamer climb is gas. Yeah, I love these climb decks in general. For sure. It's just like moments like this, right? Like almost every time my opponents cast a spell and wasted 5 seconds manually tapping, it's used every land they control. So it's like, why are we bothering if you're always tapping all your mana? Depending on how many creatures they bring in post board, I could see it being correct to leave in some of my Hydroid Krasis, because they're going on the more fair plan. It makes drawing cards with Hydroid Krasis more appealing. Enjoy your 1/1. Bind them up. Do 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 do. Right, Punchworthy, God bless. I want to get my paper magic experience, right? Alright, land Hydroid Krasis for 4. So I can untap an Ixalan's binding you. Rats. Blink me, baby. Blink me. Them blinking this instead of the Ixalan's binding seems like a win for me, so deal. Play my second white source out, recast this. I agree, Zeta. I feel like if you leave the manual tapper on for too long, Arena just shouldn't let you log in. It should just give you an MTGO download link. It should just be like, hey, friend, I heard you want to play slow, dry Magic. Here's the perfect application for you. They like slow, wet Magic. They're playing Simic. Fair. Dunk, dunk. Alright, they're dead on board. So we'd probably like to draw land next turn. Hey, we might not get a next turn, you know? Look at them. I died a little bit on the inside, waiting for them to sit there and do that. Stop! You're killing me! You're killing me! Just sending you this message so my notification that it's my anniversary goes away. Happy April 18th. Thanks for the 2-month Shuffler Truther. This thing flipping yet? It's not quite flipping yet. There's a layer of hell that this is what it is. It's playing against Wilderness Reclamation players who only manually tap. Please! Mercy! Mercy! Stop manually tapping! Stop it! Stop it! Too far upped me. Too far. All right, I'm gonna lead on Deputy of Detention. Because I'd rather this resolve than this. That one, please. You know what the worst part about this is? It means they have a fog. It means they have a fog. Yeah, I'm gonna bind their Azcanta. Brick and die, please. Brick and die, please. Five subs to concede, but I'm winning, Marty. Marty, I'm winning. Marty, I'm winning, Marty. Marty, I'm up a game. I'm up a game. Oh, Marty, that's so many subs. Oh, the EV is way higher. 10. Call on 10. Call on 10. My subs are to cancel out Marty's. Do I play the third game? Do I see if I can run them down in the third game? Oh, it's just gonna take so long. It's gonna take so long. I'm gonna see if I can have a nut draw on the play. I'm gonna try for a nut draw on the play. All right, you know what, Marty made the decision. I'm gonna be done. It's like I'm just not happy. Like I'm not happy playing against Nexus normally, and it's like playing against slow, miserable Nexus is like extra bad. I don't know. Part of me was thinking like we're ranked 300 and maybe we can qualify in the top 1,000 based on memes, but like the 20 subs Marty gifted is worth more expected value than playing the top 1,000 tournament. It's just such a terrible experience. Like, it just combines two terrible experiences together, right? Have a good one, dude. Light. I told myself I would do work after that match. What's going on, David? I mean, I believe it has draws where it's good, and I agree with you that, like, in the games we played last night, we didn't hit any of the draws where Frenzy was good, but I think the assessment of it's still kind of clunky win more is probably accurate. Marty is the hero we don't deserve. I agree. I agree. He's pretty great, that Marty. It's a darn shame that cost 3 and Ajani can't bring it back. I assume this Krasis is trading for a 2-2 here. We really want to draw a 2 or 3 mana creature next turn, so that way I can make a play that impacts the board and then play Carnage Tyrant the following turn. Growth Chamber Guardian would be absurd here. Might be in a little bit of trouble here. They might get just enough damage in to stabilize. Why not take 4 in Hadana's? Why would I want to do that? Like, what is getting Hadana's into play do for me? I think we're gonna be a little bit too slow here. And this is what I was kind of expecting from this build. So we were talking about this build versus the Teamer Climb build. Why not Ajani and absorb damage? Because I have to shock in a land to play Ajani, and there's no guarantee they attack him. In fact, if they're good, they're not going to attack him. Hey, Pengu Power. Yep, they even bricked off at the end, but we bricked off harder than they did. Ajani does actual nothing. Oh, Ajani kills them. No, he doesn't, because I'm at 1. If one of these was not, if any of these were untapped, we'd kill them. If any of these were untapped, we'd kill them.
Stand together. Strength is born struggle.
That was so close. Yeah, you just needed a spell or an untapped land. Just like had neither. Ajani's -2 can't get back Knight of Autumn. I pointed that out earlier. Well, there's no guarantee I get to eat attackers with the Krasis as a 3/3 K-Sizzle. It probably just eats a Lightning Bolt or a Skewer, and I'd rather curve my mana. Play my cards on curve guaranteed. And, like, I assumed, and obviously this was a bad assumption the way that game played out, I assumed I would draw a spell at some point. So, like, if I draw a spell at some point, getting the Krasis to, like, propel me forward is good. If Ajani can get back 3s, it would be quite absurd. It's, like, good as is, but Ajani get back Krasis. That's technically a legal play. Krasis does cost 2. I disagree with your assessment, K-Sizzle. I think my play is much better if assuming I draw anything that's not a shock land. My play set me up to win the game with a non-shock land or to stay in the game with a spell. And obviously I didn't draw a spell, so like hindsight, 2020, etc. Look back and go, oh, if you're gonna frickin' die, be more conservative. But I just assumed like one of 3 cards in a row would be a spell. Manually tapping your lands would have won that game? Yeah, probably. Do 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 do. Yeah, without the Wild Growth Walker tool, this matchup definitely feels a lot harder. The Teamer Climb deck was solidly favored in this matchup. This deck does not feel like it has the same tools. Because it doesn't, obviously. It's got Knight of Autumn, which is, like, okay-ish, but... I think I just need to hit my land drops. And, like, maybe you could argue I should keep that Jadelight Ranger, because, like, it does kind of help me hit a land drop, because, like, it could dig next turn. Like, I also, like, have other cards in my hand I don't mind playing out here. I think I'm okay forcing this trade. Because if they trade both of these for Jadelight, then they don't have a Fanatical Firebrand to kill my Knight of Autumn with next turn. Which seems like a win for me. It's a similar amount of cards. The difference being that I have to cast Jadelight Ranger the following turn to get to those lands is the big difference. So, Knight of Autumn gains 6 here, because it eats a shock, and it gains me 4. But it's just like, it's not like, or it doesn't even do that. Alright, yep. So this build seems like it's better against Sultai, but worse against these aggro decks. It's probably a lot worse against Mono Blue, too. If I had to venture a guess. Without having Wild Growth Walker to steal games. I just died with, like, Carnage Tyrants and Hadana's Climbs in my hand against the red deck. Alright, I think Esper Quasi-Duplicate is solidly safe as the, deck of the day. After those last couple, I think on principle, I probably can't put the deck that had to play against the manually tapping Nexus of Fate player as the deck of the day. When does the tourney start? I'm not playing in the tournament today. The tournament organizers changed the rules after I agreed to play in it, so I bowed out. That's the blue source that we needed. Because it's not just as simple as fitting in Wild Growth Walker's Zetasphere. In order to make Wild Growth Walker a playable card, you also have to fit in Merfolk Branch Walker, which is 8 cards. What did they change? They required everybody to stream the tournament today on 0 delay, which compromises the competitive integrity of the tournament. So rather than deal with possible issues from that, I decided not to play. It's like, if I play the tournament, like, takes up my entire evening, too. So, like, they want to do wonky things with that. It's just not worth my time. I agree. I also felt it was silly. But it's their tournament, so they can run it however they want. The end of the day, I'll do me. The fandom tournament that I played in last week, they invited me back to play again this week, but they decided to run it with 0 delay. And as someone who's been frequently harassed by trolls in the Magic community, streaming a tournament with cash prizes on no delay on my stream just sounds like a good opportunity for people to harass me and try and sabotage my tournament. So I just didn't want to experience that, expose myself to that. Can't control Twitch chat. Alright, 5th land is good here. Gets to get Growth Chamber going. Yeah, I agree, Roth. It's the same reason the chat's in sub only now. I'm not really using Twitter anymore. Just remove unnecessary negativity and hostility from your lives. Life's too short. Social media is pretty toxic. Limit your use of it. Figure out which parts of social media you derive joy from, and the parts that you aren't deriving joy from and are causing you stress and anxiety, just stop doing it. That's a really aggressive Eldest Reborn when I have a 2/1 in play that's crap. Oh, Baffling End. Things you cannot take. Hostage Taker. Again, gonna fire this off right away. While this is slightly worse against a discard spell like Thought Erasure next turn, it's better against, No, I think waiting to pump the discard. So while my opponent's deck does have discard spells in it, they almost certainly have more copies of removal than they do discard spells. Oh, they're gonna take my knight back with the binding. That's cute. Think I get rid of that? And I think we're kind of up a creek without a paddle here, regardless of what we do. Yeah, I wanna adapt while they're tapped out, so that way I guaranteed get my thing. Because if they kill it in response to me adapting, I don't get a thing. Yeah, we're pretty dead here, huh? Okay. Huh. Alright, so you're saying there's a chance. You do not get to borrow my way to kill your enchantments. Maybe. We're still pretty far behind here. Like any other threat or payoff. All those decks, it's not like rotation's happening, Turkey Sloth. So if there's extra decks for the current standard format that are still there when this format wraps up, when I'm done doing standard, they'll just stay in the deck queue. They'll still be legal when the new set releases. I might take it upon myself to update them with cards from the new set if there's cards that are applicable, but... because I had exactly enough, and then people noticed the queue was low, so they like slotted decks in at like 25 and 30 points so they could get played today. So decks that are at the bottom of the queue will just stay in there. They'll just all the decks that say new standard will turn into just standard. Nice Grixis deck. Carnage Tyrant, go. Oh. How you doing? Dispersal incoming. You shut your mouth, Bulletproof Pope. They almost certainly play Dispersal though, right? My 6/6 mana uncounterable Bogle. Go. Do 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 do. The pride cometh before the fall, chat. The pride, she cometh before the fall. Moving along. We got. That is definitely an apt descriptor of what's just occurred there. We had a couple of the first couple of matches we played were quite excellent. After we conceded the misery tapper put bad juju on us, just like cursed us. Magic Arena is punishing us for giving a misery slow player a free win. Marty, this is your fault. Yeah, it's all Martin's fault. He put this on us. We were so young. You can find an article on Cool Stuff Inc. from 2 weeks ago about cards I'm looking forward to playing in the new set. I think I just keep my land and play Vivien here.
Would you let balance comes?
One of your finest Hydroids, please. Hostage Taker is such a beating for this archetype.
Come to me.
I'm gonna take Jadelight Ranger is like a little bit greedy, but like it helps me. Like I want lands, but Jadelight Ranger like helps me find lands and it blocks. And like even if this were to miss on 2 lands in a row, the Hadana's Climb would then flip over by targeting it. So we were getting a land one way or another here. Sure.
Not again.
Not again. Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go again. Should have known, should have known, should have known again. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Okie dokes. We're up to 7 mana. Hydroid Krasis is going to be thoroughly scary here soon. What do you think about a Dredge style deck with the new Jace? Maybe okay. I don't know. I think if the new Jace is going to be good, he's not going to be good in like a cheeky deck that's like dedicated only Jacing. If a card like Jace ends up being good, it's probably going to be because using him to draw an extra card every turn is good. It's like, no, my hand is Carnage Tyrant. Krasis, concede. Big dumb flying dinos. Big dumb flying dinos. I feel like our 4x Hydroid Krasis, 4x Carnage Tyrant deck is like probably pretty good against Grixis stuff. I'm going to try and make Jason Undergrowth work that way in Sultai. I mean, like, ultimately, at the end of the day, like, structuring your deck so, like, it's reasonable, playable cards that are cohesive and just, like, happens to win with Jace's thing on occasion is fine. The decks that are going to be really bad that people are going to try and make are ones that are, like, all in on trying to win with Jace's alt text, as opposed to just, like, it being something that you leverage on occasion when it comes up. I want to say thank you for the great quality content, but also for getting rid of my... You will never have an abundance of wild cards if you spend your time around here, that's for sure. Decent pickup. Always feel bad when, like, people board in duress or leave in duress against your deck that doesn't have that many non-creature spells and, like, they end up getting a hit. I think I'm supposed to bin that. I'm gonna get Ritual Assoted here and just concede, but if we don't, we get to Carnage Tyrant next turn potentially, which is very good. If they Nickel Bolas or Disinformation Campaign again, I'm going to ditch the Sunpetal Grove and hope to rip a land. Super punished. Should have been greedier. If they don't have a removal spell here, we might be okay. I guess I should have played this even though they don't know what it is. They didn't know what it was. Because they're going to make me discard it to this information campaign anyways, and I kind of want a second blue in play. Incubation Druid is second blue. I didn't want to leave the Growth Chamber Guardian in my hand. It's Bacon. I wanted to get it into play, not only so it can attack the following turn, but also so it's not susceptible to discard spells. I don't think I had enough mana to do all of that. Maybe I did. I didn't count it. I like half counted it. I don't really have the luxury of playing around a sweeper here, I don't think. I think we're just like, please kill me with Ritual Assault. Yeah, and that implies they don't have Ritual Assault. And now I definitely want to play this out, because it's going to get discarded by campaign anyways. How did Storm go? The deck yesterday? The Teamer Storm deck yesterday was actually the deck of the day. We had a lot of really good games with it. Alright, do you have Ritual Assault or are you dead? I guess they'd have Cry of the Canarium plus a piece of spot removal. Have there been any cheesy Harpooner plus haste decks? Yeah, the Teamer Dawnbringer deck we played a bunch at the end of last season ended up doing that. Had a bunch of Kraul Harpooners and Dawnbringer. Yay, we beat the Grixis deck. Giddle. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. So even with our concession to the poopy, miserable Nexus player, we ended up finishing pretty high up there, 600 something. I feel like if I was taking a peek at this deck, I would want to think about what my plan is for the aggro decks. Explicitly, I feel like I don't really have good plans in this deck for mono red currently. I think this Settle the Wreckage is probably some hot nonsense. I think we probably don't need 4 Carnage Tyrants. Like, as good as it is to, like, dunk on Grixis and Esper with these, I think between Vivien and 4 Krasis and Growth Chamber Guardian, 4 of these is kind of silly. I think the easiest in for helping us beat up mono red is probably put it towards Esper Party Bus, a new standard. Will do. I think a couple of Bronzodons would probably go a long way. Not only is this another card that gets rid of their enchantments, but it also is just like a really meaningful blocker. Honestly, I could even just see like not caring about these Deputies of Detention and just like playing a bunch of Bronzodons. I'd probably want to play against White Weenie a little bit before I decided to cut these. This card's very good against the white aggro deck, so it could be worth keeping for that matchup. Excuse me. The fourth Ixalan's buying something that could also maybe be a little suspect if I was looking for more cards to make the red matchup better. Other than the red matchup, this deck felt pretty reasonable. I was genuinely surprised at how explosive some of the starts it had between Growth Chamber and Incubation Druid synergizing with both Hadana's Climb and Ajani. We cranked out tons of mana. We played turn 4 Carnage Tyrant a number of times. That was really good. Carnage Tyrant plus Climb is just like good and sweet. If you enjoyed my Teamer Climb deck and you have the wild cards to build this, you happen to have the stuff for it, I would definitely recommend giving this a try. It has some similar play patterns, but it's also doing a couple of things that are a little bit different. Mageologist, thank you for the half a year of support. I really appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around here. That's going to be it for me for today, folks. Remember, if you want more from me, you can check out my website and my YouTube channel for tons of stuff there. I'm going to go ahead and give someone else a host who's still streaming Constructed here on Twitch now. Tomorrow is going to be our last day of Standard in this current format. So next Thursday, a week from today, the new set releases on Magic Arena. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week, I'm going to be doing like the olden days, and I'm doing 3 all Magic Online days that are going to be Legacy and Modern. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are going to be all Modern on Magic Online, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm planning to do 6 days next week, are going to be long Standard days. So I'm planning to do 10 hours of Standard on the release day on Thursday, and then 9 hours on Friday and Saturday. So hopefully catch all of y'all tomorrow, and I'll see you next week as well.